If I told you that we, the human species, were going to merge with computers in 18 years to transcend what it is to be human, you would probably think I was a little crazy. But please bear with me while I try to explain why I make this claim. It will only cost you the pain it takes to endure one extraordinarily dry paragraph. Just remember, it gets better later. I make my previous claim because the growth in many technologies is exponential, not linear as most people believe. Take computers, for example. In 1971, there were 2,300 transistors in a single integrated circuit. This was around a 1,000 transistor increase from 2 years before. If the growth worked linearly, one would expect an increase of 1,000 transistors for every 2-year cycle, which would put our current transistor count at around 22,000. But since the growth is actually exponential, that is, each cycle is double that of the previous, those same 20 cycles was not an additional 20,000 transistors, but an additional 2,600,000,000 transistors. If this trend continued for 18 more years, then the power of a personal computer would be equal to over 1,000,000,000,000 transistors, or, in other words, more powerful than the human brain. Whoop-de-doo, right? So there are a lot of little things in a computer chip. Who cares? This crap won't affect how I live my life. Well, first, I doubt technological improvements won't affect your life, and second, remember that this exponential increase does not only affect transistors and computer chips. It also affects information technologies, nanotechnology, genetics, robotics, and other promising areas of technological growth. The convergence of all of these rapidly expanding technologies will change our lives in amazing ways. If you don't believe me, let's look at a few examples. Nanotechnology is all about doing things on a small scale, usually with the help of very small robots. I'm going to emphasize the robot aspect because really, when don't robots make things cooler? Nanotechnology is growing more viable every day because the size of mechanical devices is decreasing at an exponential rate, and the cost of each device is also decreasing at an exponential rate. Soon these things will be so small and so cheap that they could be running around in everyone's body, much like antibiotics are today. But why would you want little machines throughout your body? Well, take your red blood cells for example. Red blood cells are supposed to deliver oxygen to the rest of the body, but they are completely awful at it. If you replace your inefficient red blood cells with robotic versions that have already been made and found to be over 1,000 times more efficient, then you could stay underwater for hours or sprint for 15 minutes straight with only a single breath. Remember, this idea is not some cloud castle in a magic fantasy land. People have already tested and cured type 1 diabetes and cancer in rats with blood cell-sized devices. In the field of genetics, geneticists are now capable of manipulating the DNA of organisms or even programming their own from scratch. All those pesky genes left over from our ancient times could be reprogrammed to fit our current needs. That gene that tells your body to hold on to all of your fat just in case next year's hunt doesn't turn out so well can simply be turned off, as has already been done in rats. This quick fix is the ultimate dieting plan. You can eat as much as you want, your body will not hold on to any of the extra calories, and you will live 30% longer. Or how about robotics? The exponentially increasing output of every hour of manufacturing will take off once robots acquire a larger role. Robots will be building other robots to build new houses, gadgets, cars, or even planting and harvesting new kinds of crops. The way human beings communicate with each other will also change. As was said before, by 2029, the power of a personal computer will have surpassed the human brain. If we are capable of understanding and interfacing with our brains, then we could merge with these new computers to radically augment our own intelligence. These super intelligent humans will have no need for our current forms of communication or social media. Forget MySpace and Facebook. They will connect in fundamentally different ways, a type of interconnectivity that will revolutionize what it is to be human or what it is to be an individual. We are entering a period of unparalleled growth, one that will lead to a radically new future shared by radically new beings. Now, as long as we can avoid out-of-control self-replicating nanorobots from consuming all the matter on Earth in massive waves of gray goo, a genetic manipulation gone wrong that leads to rows of cannibalistic half-human zombies, conscious super-intelligent machines deciding humans are no longer necessary, or a small group of humans taking advantage of technology to enslave the rest of humankind, relegating them to a life as gas-scavenging, squirrel-hunting bands of tribes roaming a post-apocalyptic and radioactive wasteland, this should be pretty cool, right?